bounce over to the baseline. It's time for First Serve with Nebraska women's tennis student athlete, Reya Lee Coe. Join Reya as she takes you through life as a college tennis player and more. Here's First Serve with Reya Lee Coe on 93.7 The Ticket.
All right, hey everyone, happy Saturday. I'm Reya Lee Coe, and you are listening to First Serve Live. We have a very special guest here today. Is my head coach, German Dalmagro. Coach, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Happy Saturday as well. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
I feel so special here. You know?
Oh, yeah. We just came from practice. We had practice this morning at 9:30. And how did you think it went?
I think it was good. We were outside, a little chilly, a little bit, but no wind really, and it was good. It's a really good day to get better. So
It was a little chilly. My hands were a little cold, but nothing. I can't tough it out. But obviously, at one point, you were not a coach in tennis. So how did you get into tennis, and how did you end up here at Nebraska?
Yeah. Long story short, let's put it that way. I mean, I kind of was born with a tennis racket. My dad is a tennis coach, but was a player as well. Then played growing up all his life. Played a little professional as well. And got into coaching kind of early on as well in his career. And then so I was pretty much born with a racket. But early on in my career, I would say early on in my life when I was 7 to 10 or so, something like that, I used to play 3 or 4 different sports. And then tennis at one time wasn't really in there. About I was actually just talking to my dad about it a couple of days ago. He's like, oh, well, you were about 9, you were kind of like playing, but enjoy more soccer, rugby, like doing all the things with your friends. And then after I would say 10 or 11, I got way more into tennis, and then it's kind of been tennis since then. So it's been awesome. I love the sport, and I think the sport has taken me pretty much everywhere around the world, and met a lot of friends and built a lot of friendships and relationships. And I think that's the cool part. That some of the things that you do on the court, but a lot of things you do off the court, I think are pretty cool too.
Yeah. So you were previously the assistant coach at Nebraska. You're going to have to remind me what years. But how did you start your coaching career after playing college, and where did you play college tennis, and what did your college career look like after you started?
My college career was a little different than sometimes most, I would say. I was right after high school, I decided to kind of play little pro tennis, and then and just play tournaments, and didn't want to really study, and didn't come to US. And then I was just playing and traveling, all that. And then I was almost about to start school back home, actually. And then when I was 20, and then I decided to come to US and then try college tennis. And then kind of did that. And then but because of eligibility and some things back then, that now the rules have changed so much.
Yeah.
But back then, I went to a junior college first, because that's the only thing I could go at the time. And then after that, then I went to the University of West Florida, which is a Division II school in Florida. Great experience, great teammates at both places, good coaches, awesome environment. It's kind of what the cards that I was dealt with, and at that time I say I'm gonna make the most of what I have, and that's the only things I could do. And then I went there, and then after that, actually my coach asked me. I had like a semester or almost a year. Not left of school, but internships and a couple of things before school started. I said, hey, Hermione, will you help me be the assistant coach this year for the teams?
Oh, you were the assistant coach at West Florida.
West Florida for 1 year.
Oh.
And then he was like, hey, I think you'd be really good at it. Can you help me out this year? And I was like, yeah, sure. I wasn't really thinking of being a coach then. I was like, and I really liked it. And I think it was like good experience, good balance between kind of like on core, off core, and different things like that. And then so after that, it's like, well, you know what? I'm gonna give it a try.
Yeah.
So after that, I went to my first assistant job was besides West Florida was the University of Kansas.
Okay.
I was in Lawrence, Kansas. I was there for 6 years, almost 6.5 years.
Oh,
And then
I didn't
after that, I came here.
That long.
Yeah, from 2013 to 2018. So I was here for 5 years.
What has changed since 2018 to now 2026 between here in Lincoln
or in general?
Just Nebraska women's tennis, or like because we always, when our alumni come, we talk about like the previous like bubble that they played in, and now we're like
Yeah.
spoiled and have really nice facilities.
We are spoiled, you know. I want to make sure you know that, okay? But no, I think it was different. I mean, my first before we built that, it was built during my time as an associate head coach here when I was here. My first 2.5 years almost, we play at a bubble out in Cornhusker and 70th North 70th.
I don't
I
even
remember
know where
when
that is.
when he was yeah, I don't even know if he's still there. When he was windy, the lights will wobble left and right, you know. The players will be like, what is going on here? It was just windy outside and the wobble
I'd get
just moved,
distracted.
you know. So we play there in the facility on campus, which is like the red courts that you see right now on 17 and Vine. Now there's only 4 courts. At that time they were air, but we didn't have bathrooms at all.
Oh
We had to use the
yeah.
dorms as bathrooms. We didn't have any locker room, nothing. So it was, it was an experience, but you sometimes you just make the most with what you have, and I think that's kind of um, the beauty of it. Whatever you have, and I think it's like you can't just put excuses and say why you can't do this. Like just gotta have a good mindset, a good attitude about it, and just say, hey, I'm gonna make the best with what I have, and then sometimes it frees you up more because you're not thinking the things you can't control. At
Yeah.
that time we couldn't control that, right? They were in talks of building a facility for the previous 20 years before I was here too.
Mhm.
So, and the time we got to our facility, I mean, they built it basically, halfway my time here. And once we move in there, it was also a great facility. Nowadays, a lot of schools have about the same facilities that we do now, but he's about 10 years old, 11 years old. But, we have
I
a
feel like
crew
it
that
seems like way like newer than that.
it does. I think we have just, the guys that Andrew and Brian, the guys that take care of the facility and
Yeah,
everybody else
they're
in
awesome.
Nebraska. They do a fantastic job, I think, keeping that place.
Like I think it's pretty high
clear.
tech. Like even our locker room is like it's not outdated.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Like I think it's pretty good. Whenever like were most of the Big Ten schools kind of like that too, where you'd play at the rec courts like back then, or was it more just
I think there's
random?
some have it, some already had facilities on campus, just like we do now. I think it's kind of in between. There's some that do and some that had it before, and now those facilities are getting a little older, but it's still really nice.
Yeah.
So I mean, when I was at Illinois too, we have the same course that we play. They play right now. It's when I was there too. So it's now it's kind of one of those in this generation is all about the bling and facility and kind of try to have it all, because you would think it helps your recruiting, but also helps the day-to-day operations as well.
Right.
So yeah.
Well, thankfully you ended up leaving Illinois to come back here, and I know I'm grateful for that because I wouldn't have come here without you. How was it recruiting as a new head coach, and especially like what did you like? I don't know if it's like signing a contract, but when did you when did you take this head coach
Yes, I
job?
took it over basically. I think my first day was like July
Oh,
29
wow.
or July
Yeah.
30th. And
And
the school
then
started 3 weeks later.
so you had the same team from before. How was that coming in with like the girls already on the team, and like you didn't really get to, I mean, you were just kind of, thankfully the girls were great, but
yeah,
like
it was kind of one of those that you just never know what's going to happen, because everybody was here already, and you come in as a new staff and new coach, and you try to kind of bring your own things, your own ideas, your own practice, your own things that you like to do. And it's an adjustment, I think, for them a lot, but also for me because I'm they're new and I need to get to know them. But
yeah.
thankfully, we had a really good group that it was very welcoming, very receptive, and very eager to kind of to work hard and just to kind of see where we can do.
Yeah.
So it was. I mean, it was good. It was hard at times, but at times I think it was also very rewarding. So.
Yeah, for me, I feel like, I mean, I came in that January. So was I the first person you had recruit, or were you talking to other girls in the portal in the December, or was
I think
I?
we were talking a couple, but
You hit the jackpot with me. I mean, come on.
yeah, that's what I hear. Yeah, no, I think it's you were kind of one of the first ones. Actually, when I first came in, I think I got Maya here.
Oh yes, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
because she was supposed to go with you to
Arkansas State.
Arkansas State, and then
Yeah.
came with you here.
Yeah, Yeah. So I would say that maybe that's the first one. You know.
Yeah. Okay. I'll take second
And then
place.
you for
I'll
sure.
take second place.
You
I guess
know,
that's
but no, he
okay.
was like out of that portal or that. Yeah, you for sure were. You know, and I think it was good. We have some great conversations
Yeah.
in January, December, January, and yeah,
I was on a
like
ski
you're here.
trip whenever we were talking. I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, like let me apply to school. And thankfully, obviously, it ended up being the best decision of my life. But so we obviously have started our spring season. Here we are 2 years later. I've officially known you for 2 years. And how would you say the beginning of season is going for Nebraska women's tennis?
I think it's going well. I think we're battling with a little bit of adversity with the injuries
Yeah.
and a little bit on the team, you know, and then a little bit of sickness. We
Yes.
have quite a few.
I've had the flu twice.
Quite a few
Already twice.
sickness around the last few weeks, so that's been a little challenging to kind of feel like you're at your best, you know.
Right.
So I think it's going well. I think I mean, could have been just slightly better, you know, in a couple
Right.
matches. I absolutely, but I think it's going well, and I think with early on, so we're still kind of building momentum, still building, you know, our identity for this
Yeah.
spring. You know, I think it's still kind of always work in progress.
What do
You
you
know,
want our identity to be? I mean, I think I know,
I hope you
but
know that. I hope you know that.
yeah.
But
Or yeah, what did
um,
I do know.
but if you don't know, then we got some talking to do right
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
I'm just kidding. No, I think I mean what we want to be known for is that it's just be a tough team, being a gritty team, being a team that has a lot of energy that likes to just like fight for every point and being out there just doing whatever it takes, you know, to help the team, you know, in each individual core, but as a team, you know. So it's it's been pretty good for the most part, I would say, you know, across the board. And obviously we're still kind of sometimes, you know, some of the energy kind of dictates by sometimes the outcome of each particular
Right.
match, which I think that's something that we continue to work on, that we can't let
Yeah.
some of the scores dictate how we, you know, the circumstances of what's happening at that time dictate a little bit of our energy and all that. But yeah, that's kind of what we want to be known on. We want to be for an unselfish team, a team that fights for each other, a team that, you know, like has a lot of energy and has a lot of grit in it, you know. And I think that's something that we try to talk about it and do a lot of
Yeah.
things every day of practice.
I think so as well. So when you schedule our matches, like obviously Big Ten is just Big Ten play. And actually some people don't know this, but for women's tennis, how many teams do we not play? 4?
Now that we have 18 teams in the Big Ten, we have 4 no plays every
Okay.
year. Yeah.
So what goes through your head whenever you are scheduling our non-conference matches between, like, obviously we want, I don't want to call them easy matches because no match is easy, but like the more favorable matches versus like challenging us more with like the, say, like stronger teams.
Yeah. I think I believe in having a balance. You know, I think I believe in having a balance. Sometimes opponents that are, you know, like they call it Power 4 or P4, you know, programs. And I think we play a few of those. But I think it's like having a balance between, you know, really strong teams and teams that are, yeah, just that we can be favorites, and teams that are, you know, kind of in between. You know, I think it's good to have a balance to challenge our team, also to, you know, could work on different things. And obviously, you know, you try to think individually each match. I try to think of that the way we try to do that, and then I also try to think overall as a whole year.
Yeah.
Kind of what do you think? What team you have? The size of your team? Can you provide opportunities for everybody in the team? That, you know, you try to have everybody as prepared as possible. You know, so just in case anything happened, you know, we have already a couple setbacks, right? Injuries.
Yeah.
So we at times, you know, all the players have step up and play too, right? So we want to have a balance so everybody can have opportunities, and but also prepares us. You know, I
Okay.
think every match, no matter the level, I think it prepares you for everything. You know, if you take it that way.
Right. I mean, you sure hope so. How do you think our non-conference play has been going? Are we 6-2? I should definitely know this, but we're 6-2.
We are, yes.
So our 2 losses come from Kansas and Wichita State. How, like, what do you think we could have like learned, or how are we learning from it, and how how do you build on it without dwelling on it too much? Or how do you like instill that in our heads?
Yeah. I think it's like putting everything into perspective a little bit, right? The season is just starting. I'll start with Kansas, for example. It was first match on the road. A really good team. I mean, their number one was a NCAA quarterfinalist, All
Yeah.
American. They made NCAA's, last few years, and they're always a strong team. So that was a really good challenge for us. We went there and we were shorthanded to a point, and then we have somebody else being sick, with the
Yeah.
flu, and then but overall, I thought it was a really good match. I thought we have opportunities to win it. We lost, we won a match, lost a match close, and then in a couple of the matches, we had a match point in one of the
Yeah.
courts. We had a set point in another court. We were in the third set on another match. So you look at the score; it says 4-1, but it could have easily been 4-3 for us, or 4-3 for them, or be a really good, match. We stopped there, but I think it's we learned from that. It's like how we handle adversity. We got to keep getting better at, and can we handle momentums? I think
Yeah.
that's one
Yeah.
thing we've been talking a lot, right?
Specifically me.
Yeah, but it's how we handle that. The ups and downs of the match, the flows of the match, and how you overcome that, or how you step up and close that, and how you rise to the occasion when that opportunity presents. So we kind of tried to learn from that, and then came home, and then the next right back, we went to Wichita. Wichita's probably having the best year
They are
right
doing
now.
so good.
Right now, the best year they're having probably in the last 30 years, to be
Yeah.
honest. So we play them, and then at home last year we beat them at home,
Yeah.
and then they have about the same team. Everybody's like upperclassman. They're doing well, and then the same. We were in a situation where, again, playing shorthanded and battling through sickness, but still we show up and we competed. Which is kind of what I always has. No matter what we have, we're gonna step on the court and compete, and we did that. The same. We could have won the doubles point.
Yeah.
Basically 3 points separated that doubles point, and then in singles, what do we have? 4 out of the 6 were all 3 setters.
Yeah. I was lost. I was stuck at 5-5 in the third, and I was up in the third. I easily could have turned that into a point.
Yeah,
but
maybe you could have, and then Kat lost 7-5 in the third.
Yeah.
Masha was in the third, and then Emma lost a close 2-setter, and then so it was all right there. So how do we learn from that, and how do we not let it dwell? It's just knowing that how close you are, to overcoming that, to getting over the hump there, and then that should be a motivation to keep you going, and then just go back and work on little things and how you execute those things
Mhm.
in under those pressure situations better. And that's kind of what keeps us going, right? That's what
Yeah.
keeps us here. That's what we're doing now, working and trying to get better at those things, and making sure we're we keep competing day in, day out, at practice. So when we step up on competition, we treat it just the same, and doesn't feel like a overwhelming experience at times. So yep, I mean, I'm more motivated than I was before. If you go somewhere and then you get your butt whooped, and and it's not even close, I think sometimes it gives you more of like a more like, oh, we're just not there.
Yeah.
But being that close, a team that Wichita probably in the next rank is probably going to be a top 20 team.
Oh,
So
wow.
being literally points away from beating them in most of the course is only encouraging, that knowing that we're right there, we're close, really close, and then I think once we kind of keep working on small little things and keep getting better every day, I think next time that opportunity presents, I think we can execute
Yeah.
it.
From like the girls' standpoint, like from like our side of things, like after the match, whenever we lost to Kansas, we obviously were upset because we knew like we were like right there. Oh, hi Masha. Hi Lily. Masha has my dog. She's on a walk. We knew that we were right there, and we were actually happy that we had that match scheduled because we felt like last year we started off, I think we were 10-1 last year,
Yeah.
but we felt like by the time we started Big Ten play, we hadn't played super challenging matches, and we were like, long term, like us playing these better teams are going to set us up for the Big Ten season. And I think that that's been something that was like really positive to hear, like especially just coming from the girls' standpoint. Because yeah, it's easy to get down on yourself, especially after a loss whenever it's close. But I think if anything, it just like motivated us to like emphasize more things in practice. What would you say? Obviously you were talking about energy and stuff going into practice, but what what did you specifically want us to work on after?
I think it's a couple things that stand out to me, and also is like how we, our intensity, throughout the whole match, and also just like how do we handle pressure situations,
Yep.
and how do we can close games or sets or opportunities. We put ourselves in good situations to close the door, let's say, on some opportunities and get ahead. It's like at times I felt like we didn't handle it as well.
Mhm.
We put ourselves, we did a lot of really good things. We didn't quite get over the finish line,
Right.
in a game or a set or, or matches particular too. So we've been trying to talk about it and work on it a little more on just like on doing that, and then it's also just having the mindset of like knowing that, hey, it's like I've been here before and I can
Right.
go back and do it,
Yep.
But yeah, how do you guys feel you handle thing diversity and what are you doing about it?
That that's a great question. Can I answer it after we take a break so I can come up with a better answer?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, we're gonna be right back, and then I'm gonna answer his question. You're listening to 93.7 The Ticket. This is Reya Lee Coe.
Just got new tires put on my car today.
You did? I didn't see you leave the office.
I didn't need to. Graham Tire picked up my car this morning and dropped it back off and they were done.
You're kidding. How'd you get that kind of service?
That's just what they do at Graham Tire.
Schedule your service online on the Pickup and Delivery tab at GrahamTireLincoln.com. That's GrahamTireLincoln.com. Let us do the running. Some limitations apply. See store for details.
Have you been looking for home technology upgrades but don't know where to turn? Online information can be contradicting and confusing. Lincoln's own experts at Diode Technologies can turn your living room into the place to watch your favorite sports. Whatever your vision is, Diode Tech is ready to make it a reality. From home theaters to outdoor entertainment spaces, they bring you along through the entire process to make sure you get exactly what you want. If you're ready to upgrade your entertainment space, visit Diode Tech online at diodetech.net or give them a call at 402-793-5124.
Rick Heyman here from Sauter Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sauter Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at SauterHeyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and wow, what a year it was at Koppel. The Koppel family would like to say thank you for a record-setting sales year in 2025. Now let's start 2026 off with the bang. New GMC Sierra pickups starting at $12,500 off list or 0% APR. Also hot off the presses, new Terrain leases at $299 per month. That's right, $299 per month on new GMC Terrain leases. So please stop on in the store or online at koppelcars.com. Stock numbers G138852 and G165184, 2,500 down with proof credit.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Hey guys, this is former UFC fighter and mixed martial artist Anthony Lionheart Smith.
The Upside Bar and Lounge in South Lincoln is the go-to spot for every UFC event, prelims, and main card. There's never a cover, so make sure you get there early and stay late. Upside Bar and Lounge has daily specials, a margarita club, and a taco club. And don't forget, they just added Buzz Bowls to their menu. Learn more about upcoming events by visiting UpsideBarLNK.com and stop into their South Lincoln location for every UFC event on 27th and Pine Lake.
Hey, Nebraska, this is your moment. Love Nebraska is already making noise on the court, but they're still missing one thing, a nickname. That's where you come in. Love Nebraska is giving fans the chance to submit the team's official nickname. Fans will then vote on the finalists later this season. Head to lovbneb.com/nameyourteam to submit your nickname and get in the game. Submissions end on February 22nd. Name your team, shape the legacy.
A lot of people in the summertime think, gee, I want to build a new home. By the time they go through the process of sitting down, getting the permits, and getting the home started, the home isn't done until January or February.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
I think the best time to start designing your new home is the month of February. Get an early start on it. Sit down, the snow's flying. Let's sit around the table. Let's drop some plans. When we're looking out for a homeowner, we're always keeping their budget in mind. Let's put numbers together and let's get that thing started so that the home's done in summer or fall before school starts. So now is really the time to be contacting us to get an appointment to get the job done.
Make your dream a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your dream home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Just got new tires put on my car today.
You did? I didn't see you leave the office.
I didn't need to. Graham Tire picked up my car this morning and dropped it back off and they were done.
You're kidding. How'd you get that kind of service?
That's just what they do at Graham Tire.
Schedule your service online on the Pickup and Delivery tab at GrahamTireLincoln.com. That's GrahamTireLincoln.com. Let us do the running. Some limitations apply. See store for details.
Back to First Serve on 93.7 The Ticket. Here is your host, Reya Lee Coe.
All right, welcome back. I can't exactly remember what you asked me previously, but I've had some time to think about it. Do you want to ask me again?
I was just going to say how you take about those losses and what you learn and how do we overcome that a little bit of adversity, or what are we going to do so that we don't dwell on it?
All right. So I would say that honestly, seeing the bigger picture is probably what's more important. I think losing is just something that just comes with being an athlete, and nobody's ever going to win every single match, no matter how great that sounds. So I think it's more of like, I don't want to say don't be surprised if you lose, because obviously you don't want to do that, but because it's just something that's bound to happen, I think you can't really dwell too much on it. And for me, I like to take a couple like positive things from the match and then bring it into like practice that week. But I also just think, I mean, now that we're on a team, tennis before is like an individual sport in high school. I feel like the losses now don't like personally hurt me as much because I have like my teammates to like lean on and to like support like each other through the loss. So I would say honestly, just seeing the bigger picture and trusting the process, which I think is easier said than done, but just putting emphasis on like my preparation. I mean, kind of how we had talked about literally yesterday, how I was a little frustrated in the fall because I wasn't getting results immediately, and I think it's just something that it takes months to see or weeks instead of like a instant gratification. I don't think tennis is an instant gratification sport, or just like anything that you're growing in. I think it's a process.
Absolutely. Yeah, it is a process, sometimes trusting it through the highs and lows is really important, we had a couple lows, but I think, we got to use it as a fuel, to keep moving us forward,
I think you do a good job at instilling in our head like the process minded. Like even after the loss, like some people would get like scared after losing with with some coaches. Like I have some friends who are like, oh my gosh, when we lose, I'm like worried about what the coach is going to say, but I feel like you do a good job of instilling the process minded stuff like in our head and like having a good balance between pushing us, but also like giving us the grace of like, yeah, losses happen. And what's more important is like effort and energy. But how, like, in your head, do you balance like winning with the long term growth?
Yeah, I mean, it's we try. I hate losing. I'm very competitive. And sometimes I try not to show you guys
No,
internal
when he starts to
frustration.
play in practice with us, it's kind of funny.
I'm competitive, so I want to make sure you guys see that as well. That I want to have a very competitive group. It's all about that. But yeah, it's I hate losing. I absolutely hate it. But that's the motivation. I try to use to try to be positive and see the positive side, because you have another match and you have another weekend and you try to prepare, and it does nothing good to you to dwell too much on the past. You have to let it kind of help you grow and learn from it, and then try to be better next time. So the biggest part is to try to always see like the glass half full, or
Mhm.
seeing the positive out of setbacks. Okay, if you can dwell on it for like a second, you'd be like, ah, man, it stinks losing. I don't like it. Like it's a very sour taste. In my that lives with you, and then but that's what if you didn't care about it, and if you felt like indifferent, then we'll have more issues. Actually,
Right.
I don't mind.
Yeah.
I don't mind the reaction of being upset and meaning something to you. Because it means that that you care enough, that you will do something about it. So the biggest part is like now, we talk about one of the biggest words for us for the team is response, right? How,
Yeah.
how do we respond to what happens to us? And I think that's key. That's what happened to us. We lost. Now, how are we going to respond about it? Are we just going to dwell and feel like, oh,
I mean, if you
feel
throw yourself
sorry
a
about
pity party,
ourselves?
what's that going to do? It's not really going to get you anywhere.
It's not going to get you anywhere, and it's not going to help you for the next match.
Yeah.
So that way you just have to look at it as like a learning opportunity and a growth opportunity, and just keep moving forward, and then just keep working, and if anything you gotta work harder, because
Right.
if and if you're that close, it means that just like a little extra push, that 1% better every day, it's only going to get you better, but you have to allow it yourself. You have to allow your mindset to keep moving forward. You can't hold yourself back, because it's not gonna help you at all.
Right. Other than obviously all you ask for is hard work, effort, energy. Other than those three things, what is a non-negotiable if you are on the Nebraska women's tennis team?
Oof, I have a few, but I
They
think
can be funny or serious. I'm
yeah.
looking for both here.
I think on a serious one, the lack of effort.
Okay.
I
Other
think,
than effort.
it like drives me crazy.
Yeah.
Like lack of effort, I think it drives me crazy. I would say, I don't know. I think it's on a funny one. I don't know what. I mean, I think sometimes we forget to have fun.
I
think it's
don't.
like, no, you don't. You do a pretty good job about it. I think it's a balance between the working hard and giving it your all while still enjoying
Like
that
being
part.
like lighthearted, like, or wait,
Yeah.
that might have not been the right word.
But you
Something
actually
like
has
that.
to enjoy the suffering of like the daily grind. Like
Yeah.
you have to like that part. If you don't enjoy the daily grind, But I would say what drives me the most crazy, my non-negotiable, is just the lack of effort, and being unselfish.
Yeah.
No being a team first mentality. But lack of effort is probably number one.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a few others, but I think the main one I thought was lack of effort, lack of energy, intensity is kind of like, sometimes that could be there, but lack of effort, I was probably say up there for sure.
Yeah, I would
You
definitely
guys know that,
agree.
yeah.
I would 100% agree. What kind of athlete do you think fits into this program, and not necessarily from a competitive standpoint, because that's a non-negotiable, but just like in the sense of like team culture, like what do you look for when you're recruiting like these juniors and seniors in high school and these like
Yeah. I mean, being good people, I think that's
Mhm.
kind of being unselfish, putting the team first, before kind of, yourself first. Obviously, we care about each one. We want each one to be at their best, but being a team first, and being unselfish. And I think you're having similar, like, not just like goals in general, but a similar mindset or similar, some traits that sometimes you look for that, when you're going to team, that each particular player doesn't have to fake it to be in a team, or they don't have to try to pretend to be somebody else or try to fit in, like I want you guys to kind of be yourself, but then be a part of what we want.
Yeah, I think especially on our team, everybody is so different, but I think we all complement each other like really well. But whenever you're like talking to like a recruit on the phone, like, and it's just that first initial phone call, like, would you say that it's like hard to see, like, what if they're lying to you?
Yeah, I mean, they could easily be lying. Sometimes, you try to get to know them more in depth than, like the first talk. But yeah, you try to talk about like, what are they like? What are their goals? What's what motivates them? What's important to them? What's important on the core, off the core? Like what do they see? Themselves as a team. What would they bring to a team? On and off the core. What what are some of their negotiables and non-negotiables at times? They some of them don't know it because they haven't been in a team for longer periods of time.
That's so hard about tennis. Like, I think something for me, my freshman year is, I mean, I have a big family, so I feel like it's always kind of been like a mini team, but I didn't really understand some things at first. Like the cheering in practice at first really got me. I was like, what? Like, I've been practicing silent for the last 15 years of my life, but now it's something that like on the days where say like I don't want to be there as much, like the cheering actually makes it so much more fun.
Yeah. That's what I asked for everything.
Yeah. That's a non-negotiable.
Yeah, I think just it is, like sometimes we get sucked into kind of how we feeling, how our day's going, what is going through our head, and then once we step foot on the court or just in a team environment, we kind of tend to forget what's around us and what's important, Or sometimes that's it definitely helps when everybody is upbeat and going, and knowing that it can help somebody else that might be having just like a busy day or a stressful day, or something that in an individual sport to bring to a team, it's pretty easy to just kind of feel like whether you're all about the team, but sometimes it's hard. So sometimes that's why we always ask to be that energy, because it might help those that might having a hard day too, so it's important. I think sometimes that's how you get through some tough times, is to
I would agree.
Bring extra stuff to it. So
when a recruit does come visit, and we had quite a few last semester, what do you want, like at the end of the visit, if you ask them, oh yeah, like what stood out most to you, what would you like them to say?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, there you go. I like that. I think it's like the interaction with you guys, interaction with overall. They're always gonna say like, if they like the facilities or they like the town,
Right.
But I always want to say like the people, like
Yeah.
I like the people here. I love the team. The team seems very united. It seems very together. It seems so nice. They seem so welcoming.
Yeah.
Like I when they tell me that, it means that we're doing.
I think that
the
says
right
a lot
things.
about our team culture, especially like this year. I think, in my opinion, this has been, out of my 3 years of being here, this year has been the best team culture wise. Do you think that that's just something that has happened like over getting to know each other more, or how do you think that that's been like changed?
I mean, a little bit. I would say yes, getting to know each other, but also just like people, and then just like maybe personalities. But I also think being intentional. We've been, I think since I got here, I've been trying to be intentional about it, and then knowing that that's important. That's one of our pillars in our team. Is so we, I don't think things just happen. Some things happen organically, naturally, but a lot of things, whatever you do in life, it happen because your actions, your habits, your behaviors, and so how intentional you are in doing that. So I think we intentionally are. Though we're not like trying to fake it to have a good culture, but we're just like intentionally are trying to be like, hey, we're gonna be good people. We're gonna, if you have to make a tough choice sometimes between like what's best for you but what's best for the team, then that choice needs to be first the team. And sometimes like being unselfish, it's like it's part of it, So I think that helps the team culture, and then it becomes more natural because that's who we are too.
Yeah, I think especially naturally this year, you see us half the time. Like when we leave the courts, we're actually still hanging out together.
Yeah.
Like most of the time, like we'll go get dinner together, like even on the weekends. And it's like the times where you think we'd probably want our alone time. It's actually like, no, these are my best friends. And like now I can separate. Like I think our team really does a good job at separating the team and the tennis with us being like best friends. Like whenever we're hanging out, say at like Atmosphere or something, just in like the room, it's like, yeah, I mean, we'll like chat about tennis, but it's like, oh, if somebody say held each other accountable at practice, nobody's like sitting there like, oh my gosh, this person said this to me at practice because they wanted me to be better. It's more like ultimately we actually
we try to
we're
keep
all
each
just
other's
actually
standards
friends.
high,
Yeah, and it really does come from a good place. But we're gonna take a break and then we'll be right back. You are listening to First Serve Live on 93.7 The Ticket.
Raising Cane's, we focus on making the most craveable chicken finger meals, getting them right every time. That's why we hand batter every chicken finger, mix every cane sauce, butter every Texas toast, stir every slaw, salt every fry, squeeze every lemon, and brew every ounce. We do this inside every Raising Cane's, every day. Because when you do it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Nutrition Authority presents Fusion 30, an ultra premium protein ideal for anyone wanting to look, feel, and perform their best. Fusion 30 can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Stop in today for a free sample, visit with a certified nutritionist, and get better than internet pricing. For store info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket immediately after every Nebraska men's basketball game for 1 hour of post-game recap. The Nebraska Basketball Postgame Show is sponsored by Union Bank and Trust, John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical, Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, and the Lincoln Airport on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug,
who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Are you looking?
Back to First Serve on 93.7 The Ticket. Here is your host, Reya Lee Coe.
All right, welcome back to 93.7 The Ticket. This is First Serve Live. I have my head coach, German Dalmagro, here with you. Did I say that right?
German Dalmagro.
Okay, that was pretty good. Just
we
really
working on the rolling the R's.
Super Americanized, but that's okay. So just for funsies, do you have a favorite team memory? And it has to involve me.
Oh boy, there's a lot of them.
Or just like a fun.
Yeah, let me think of a specifically one. What was one? I think our time last spring in California.
Oh my gosh,
January.
that was so fun. I was on like my book grind and that I read like I think 7 books that week.
Yeah, that was a good time, with the team.
That was so fun.
Did a little workout on the sand,
Yes,
that was good sprint.
That was actually
I was part of
awesome.
it too. So
yeah,
that was good.
Yeah, that was fun running in the morning in Newport. That was awesome. We stayed in this like really nice house on the beach. That was, I think, definitely one of my
bring
favorites.
that memory back.
Yeah, we need to do that again. We should go to St. Croix.
Yeah, that could be one. Yeah, I know you've been trying to get me out.
We gotta go. We gotta go see my mom.
Yeah, I would love it.
That was.
Let's go right now.
Yeah, honestly, better than the weather here currently.
Before I forget, I need to give a shout out. Okay, so we need to tell my wife Carly happy birthday.
Carly, we love you. You're the best.
So happy birthday, honey, and then happy Valentine's as well for everybody, and to her, and then our kids, Enzo, Luca, and Lucia. Happy Valentine's for all them and everybody on the air as well.
Is Enzo winning his
Yeah, my son, my
game?
wife, and son are in Fargo, North Dakota right now, playing an ice hockey tournament out there. So
I hope she's still listening and she heard that.
yeah, they're enjoying their time there and they're working hard. So hopefully they play again this afternoon. So we'll try to watch that.
Carly, I hope you're having a
happy
good birthday
and happy Valentine's.
and listening to a ton of Taylor Swift. That is awesome. Do you think that the team's like coffee addiction is like a problem? Well, actually, you have a coffee addiction too, so maybe not.
I'm guilty of it, and I think you're probably right behind me.
Oh, for sure.
On that, but it's everything with moderation is okay, right?
Right.
On the coffee part, I would be more like do what I say, not what I do.
Mm.
But because I might drinking maybe 1 or 2 more coffees than I should a day, but long days, the grind,
We really tire you out.
you guys do, some days more than others, but no, it's good. It's good. We love our coffee. I just love black coffee, so I'm more on the coffee. You're more on the cream with
I'm
coffee.
like mine's more of like a dessert. That's
Yeah.
one thing about us. Anytime we're away or traveling somewhere, I'm not gonna lie, we really put emphasis on making sure that we get a coffee. And thankfully you're right there with us because it makes it easy to say yes. We used to be kind of scared to be like, oh, can we stop and get a coffee? Now it's just we're texting and they're like, tell Herman, stop here.
Sometimes you say yes, sometimes a no, but most of the time he said yes, But
Most of the time.
Yep, it's small moments, those small moments.
I think that's one of my most favorite things about, honestly, just being on the team in general is our travel trips. Lastly, what is something that the fans can expect from Nebraska women's tennis this year, or something to look forward to or to see?
I think it's like the biggest part is just like seeing how individually come together collectively as a team, to expect the match day to be a fun environment, a team that you just kind of like you're proud to watch because you see them working hard, hustling, having a low intensity and just going after and representing Nebraska the best way they can, living it all in the core.
Love it. All right, we play March 6th and March 6th and March 8th at the Dillon Tennis Center. This is Reya Lee Coe, and you're listening to First Serve Live on 93.7 The Ticket.